training throughout the years. We empower to heal the world. There is hope, assistance with disasters. There is shelter and love for our people. We can work together to help those in need. So volunteer with us and donate to show you care. There is hope, assistance with disasters. There is shelter and love for our people. We can work together to help those in need. So volunteer with us and donate to show you care. Together, let's build a more resilient Bahamas. Community farming for food security. Climate programs suited for our island country. Together, let's build a more resilient Bahamas.
This message brought to you by the Bahamas Red Cross Society in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
The person who's going to determine who is telling the truth or whose side is believed is me.
This woman, right? Woman's a liar.
We became intimate. He loves my lasagna, right?
She's a pervert because there's more pornography that's been subscribed.
You might as well keep on providing for your grandchild and your daughter.
Yep.
You ain't love me, Daddy.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Carol Munnins presiding.
Ready to transform your view of entrepreneurship? Discover the Business Blueprint, where innovation meets inspiration.
I'm Jeffrey Beckles, inviting you to join me on the Business Blueprint. We're diving deep into the world of business with exciting episodes that reveal the secrets to success.
From conquering banking battles to exploring the impact of national insurance and navigating business licenses in the Bahamas, we've got it all. Please don't miss our social media and mentoring minute for real-time insights and advice.
Catch the Business Blueprint, your new guide to entrepreneurship, premiering soon.
Keep the bad king walking.
Let's go. We are going to ensure and make sure that this is your last time here.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, hundreds of Grand Bahama students heading back to the classroom. Plus, a missing teenager now labeled as a runaway. We have the details. And Dorian survivors share their heart-wrenching stories. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, schools across the island opening their doors to welcome their student bodies with open arms for a new school year, as faculty, parents and students all are hoping for the best as they embark on a new chapter. Matthew Martinborough tells us more in tonight's top story.
Putting the best foot forward in September means summer has officially come to a close as students and faculty of schools are in full swing of the 2024-2025 academic year. Hundreds of students entering their school's gates with their parents, along with a warm welcome by faculty to start off the new school year with positivity. Head administrators of Hugh Campbell, Sister Mary Patricia Russell Junior High, and Sir Jack Haywood Senior High School all looking forward to bringing a noteworthy impact throughout their respective campuses.
We have a reading program, we have a writing program, we have a math program, and so we ask that you would come on board and let's get it done so that we can improve the students' grades this year.
We're implementing new programs, exciting strategies, anything that can get our children successful, we want to employ. So we're expecting great things this year.
One of the things that we are working on is just continuing to increase our graduation rate. And this year we want to move from 78% to 88%. We also want to look at improving, once again, our BGCSE results.
Parents are also embracing the new year, some in different ways than others.
Hopefully she could do well on the GLAD coming up, and I just hope that she could get all A's.
Honestly, I'm afraid. That's my baby, and I'm scared for him to start high school.
Get this good 3-point GPA so I could come to this graduation and scream and shake my car belts.
And students are ready to tackle their academic goals, setting a high bar for themselves.
To keep my grade point average to a 3-point and to do great as a student leader.
It's very imperative for you to have the right attitude, behavior, communication, and discipline, you know, when you're a student leader.
I would like to go to university abroad, so hopefully that works out.
The Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, adding some words of encouragement for students this year.
How do you continue to push yourselves to do well in the classroom? That's what's most important, and that's the message that I told my kids back in the day. That's what I continue to tell myself, and that's what I tell the students.
As we enter a brand new school year, one common goal for students, parents, and faculty is for the year to be a prosperous one. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martinborough.
Thanks, Matthew. Meantime, the Department of Social Services is appealing to the public for patience as parents fear their children may not be able to attend school this week over delayed uniform assistance. Cleopatra Murphy speaks with an official who explains the holdup.
The Department of Social Services is currently inundated with applications for uniform assistance, so much so that Assistant Director responsible for community support, Jody Burrows, says there has been a delay in disbursements.
To date, we have had 494 applications made, in addition to others that are still coming in. We are now putting in place additional persons to assist with us approving applications.
That number only reflects Grand Bahama applications that have been assigned to caseworkers, as the office also processes applications for Abaco and Bimini. Burrows says the Promise program has been set up so clients can apply for assistance online at promise.gov.bs.
In order for an applicant to apply for uniform assistance, they must possess valid documents. That is a passport or voter's card for the parents or guardian, along with a national insurance smart card. The child or children that they are applying for, they must have the child's birth certificate in addition to the child's national insurance card. We don't require photo IDs for children under the age of 16. And then we must also have the most recent report card.
She laments the application process is often slowed because persons don't provide all necessary documents, adding that home visits are also a part of the approval process. Burrows says it seems as if every year the demand increases, but despite the delay, she says children can still go to school unimpeded.
The Ministry of Education, and I believe that the Minister of Education has said that children are able to or allowed to come to school once they are properly groomed, okay, until they are able to have their uniforms in place. And so that does not delay children. The lack of uniform does not delay children from attending school.
Parents can apply for uniform assistance as soon as school closes, so Burrows is appealing to clients to apply as soon as possible to make the process smoother and faster. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Well, a missing girl is now considered a runaway weeks after her family members reported her disappearance in August. As school commences, the guidance counselor is now sharing reasons why a child may run away, as she encourages students to seek other options for help. In a later newscast, in other news from police, a wanted bulletin was issued by police last month for 28-year-old Shande Anthony Sean Brown by officers of the Bimini Division for murder. He has since been captured. Police need to question the native of Jamaica in connection with the brutal murder of James Sands of Bimini. Sands was shot and killed in broad daylight while at work on that northern island on August 15, 2024. This matter remains under active police investigation. When we come back, hear the stories of family members who lost their loved ones during the monster Hurricane Dorian. Stay with us. There's more when we return.
You have enough things to worry about. Living in a world that can seem opposite of the things you are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help in this one, sis.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. Choose CB. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Get ready for the ultimate showdown of intellect. 11 schools vying for the trophy, scholarships, and bragging rights. Battle of the Brains. Witness the excitement as young minds compete in math, physics, chemistry, and biology. Who will rise to the challenge and claim victory? This year, 11 schools go head-to-head in the Battle of the Brains 2024. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. 22 eager young minds gathering at the Ministry of Labor and Public Service for the National Training Agency's 17th cohort. The agency is dedicated to training young Bahamians from the ages of 16 to 30 with the necessary knowledge to enter the workforce. Kenneth A. Miller, the manager at the National Training Agency in Grand Bahama office, says that when these trainees leave the program, they will have international certifications to enter the workforce.
Cohort 17, for example, is that relevant industry gap filler, where we are going to be doing areas such as food and beverage and housekeeping, city and guilds level training. By the time that our trainees are done, they will be able to acquire internationally recognized certifications that they could carry into any major resort, hotel, or restaurant. Over the next 14 weeks, they will go through soft skills training, then skills training with their training provider, Ms. Cia Moss from Let's Talk Etiquette, and afterwards they will graduate with their certifications once they successfully completed the program.
Frank-Winique Langer, a graduate from the National Training Agency Cohort Agency, says that coming into this program, she was dedicated to absorbing everything that the program had to offer to better herself.
I was giving out a bunch of resumes. Felt like all the doors is closing out on me. So me coming into NTA was, I came into it and I was like with a mindset that I'm gonna do my best. I have nothing left to lose. So every day I came, I showed up, I participated, I had a positive attitude. I was determined to do my best, to strive for excellence.
Switching gears now, 3 weeks after Hurricane Dorian devastated the island of Abaco, one resilient Bahamian made the difficult decision to return, not to rebuild her own life, but to restore order amidst the chaos. Assistant Chief Magistrate Ancilla Evans shares her experience with ZNS News tonight. For Assistant Chief Magistrate Ancilla Evans, Hurricane Dorian was a tragic chapter that began with the devastating news of her court-martial's sudden death.
It began with a tragedy for me. And so I then had to wait
for him to be formally declared dead. And when that happened, Chief Mortimer called me again. His wife was on the line, and she didn't want to believe that her husband had passed, and unless the magistrate said so. And so I had the daunting and sad task of telling her that it was true. Her husband had passed away.
Evans was staying at the Abaco Beach Hotel when the storm's wrath became all too real. Rain began pouring into her room.
I did not know at the time, when all of this water started coming in, that the roof had come off the hotel. Eventually, there was a knock on the door, things got quieter, and I was escorted downstairs along with all of the other guests. I understood then that that must have been when the eye was passing.
As the storm's fury intensified, the number of people taking shelter alongside Magistrate Evans grew.
And to add to all of that, there were persons who had been charged with very serious offenses who were also there coming up to me. Hi, Magistrate. I'd seen a reporter who was next door. I gave him a message to get to the chief of police on the island. And so eventually the police were able to commandeer a tractor, and that's how I got rescued out of there.
Magistrate Evans was escorted out of the hotel by the chief of police, who warned her to brace herself for what she was about to witness.
I could not recognize anything. It looked as if a bomb had gone off in Marsh Harbor.
She was taken to the government complex, where she spent the next 4 days. Like many on the island, she lost everything.
I learned from Dorian that material things are just that, material things. But once you have your life, you have everything. Nothing else really matters.
And although Magistrate Evans managed to catch a flight out of Abaco, her dedication to justice and deep love for her country compelled her to return just 3 weeks later, determined to help restore law and order on the storm-ravaged island.
And people said, why did you come back in the midst of everything? You had nowhere to live, you had no car, you had nothing. Why did you come back? And I came back because I'm a Bahamian, and I enjoy what I do, and I realized that there was a responsibility on me to reopen the courts. I was hearing stories of people looting and just a kind of lawlessness in the air. And I felt as a Bahamian I couldn't allow that to happen. People needed to know that if you committed an offense in Abaco, you would be punished in Abaco.
Well, from Abaco, we go to Grand Bahama in the second episode of our Remembering Dorian series. 3 individuals recount an unforgettable tragedy that has left them searching for closure. They share how the loss of a loved one during Hurricane Dorian has shaped their new reality and the challenges of moving forward without them. Jolanda Thompson-Everest reports.
Real events, untold stories, and lives lost. A widow, a mother, a brother, each reliving their final moments with loved ones who were swept away by Hurricane Dorian.
We've been to several hurricanes at the same location as well, and they pretty much managed through, so. But everybody's keeping contact, saying they'll contact us and let us know that their conditions, and the condition was fair, it was okay. But as the hours go by, they saying flood became and more water be seen in the house.
Dorian came from the north side of Abaco, so we were literally just awaiting Dorian's arrival, not knowing that Dorian would have impacted the East End Island in this capacity.
I can remember that day after she dropped me home. I left some items in her car. And she left, she said, I'm going home. I said, okay. And she walked away from me. And then she came back. I was sitting at my dining table, and she came back and she said, let me kiss you just in case it's the last time you saw me. And I pushed her away. I said, why are you always talking foolishness? Because she was always cracking and whatever. And she kissed me here. And I did my hand up. I said, stop. And then she grabbed my neck and she kissed me on my lips.
And that was the last time Indra Ford saw her daughter. As the winds picked up and the flood water rise, there was an attempt to save the Daniels family.
And I managed to make it through to a friend's house over the hills. The second day we tried to come over here and make it through, but the weather was too severe, and couldn't do it.
My husband was a strong swimmer. My oldest son was a strong swimmer. My 2 babies were strong swimmers. I'm not a strong swimmer, period. I'm not. Everyone had a life jacket. Everyone had a life jacket. I didn't. My husband didn't, but our kids did. We went over the bridge to her apartment when we got on Gasolina proper. There was an inspector that was there, and I told him that, I was in search of my daughter, and he allowed us to go through.
Despite not a body in sight, these family members knew deep down what had happened, and now it was time to face their new unfolding reality.
And as I watched the ocean swallow my family, it was like, it was something that I can believe. I still held out hope that that her body would be found. That the reality of death was there.
I didn't see no house structure, and I know my brother's home. I said, we almost passed him. And then Vince said, where's your brother's house? I said, man, it gotta be right here. We haven't seen no house. But luckily, my mind said, look in the tree. When I looked in the tree, my brother's like up in the tree, like clinging. So he was kind of like unresponsive, you know what I'm saying? Because he'd been up there damn near 3 days. To find his wife about a couple of days later.
So how were you able to, of course, cope with moving on with life and then still not being able to see your daughter and give her the proper burial that she deserved? My faith in God.
This is home. He's passionate about East End on the whole. So what I did, I tried to turn a lot of my bitterness and sadness into positive things, like helping the community.
5 years gone, it's kind of hard, And sometimes it affects me, but I try to keep myself busy for I don't have to think about it. But once I face reality, I understand that we're only here for a moment.
And that's a look at stories making news. Shane, tell us what's happening in sports.
Well, Ramigo, coming up in sports, Chavez Young continues to light it up in the minors. We've got the details on that plus more, so stick around. Sports is next after this break.
God is Able Shoe Repair for back-to-school footwear, shoe, luggage, and belt repairs, orthopedic shoes, shoe polishing, hat spring, custom-made shoes, and so much more. Number 6 Churchill Building, downtown Freeport.
JMC Bank, JMC TCI, and Sunset Village Fish Fry present I'm a Boatman, featuring KB and Fred. D-Mac, Tino D, Nishi LS, Sweet Emily, Wilfred Sullivan, Funky D, Stevie F, Veronica Bishop, Papa Smurf, Sherrod Taylor, Lil Joe Cartwright, Mama D, Colin McDonough, Chad Cully, and the VIP. And from Turks Island, the Proficient Band, and host Super P. There'll also be performances by The Swinger and the Platinum Nights Junkanoo Group. Sunday, October 13th at Sunset Village Fish Fry, 8 Mile Rock. Sponsored by the Ministry of Grand Bahama and the Ministry of Tourism.
We're all still thinking about you.
5 years later.
You know what my grandson said to me the other day? Grammy, can you help me? I lost my mommy.
The impact of Hurricane Dorian continues to live on. The stories,
About people screaming out for help.
the emotions, and the legacy of those who lost their lives.
Everything will be all right. Everything will be all right. We can keep in touch. Ben's starting to pick up now, so.
This is my husband's room. Oh, no, this is my room right now. This is Title's buds.
Then he fell. He jumped back on the jet ski and he came back. He said, that's it. I ain't going back on no more. I said, what happened? He never told me what happened, but I assumed that he hit some bodies.
This amendment is for the people.
I'm Jolanda Thompson Everest. Join us for this 5-day special series at 6:30 p.m. only on the ZNS Network.
What's happening, beautiful people? I'm Shane Stubbs, and welcome to your Northern Edition Sports Update. We've got updates in track and field plus baseball. Let's start with some slow pitch action at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex softball field.
Grand Bahama Amateur Softball action rolled along this past Sunday with regular season play concluding for the ladies division. The Amspec Oilers ended the season on a high note, taking care of business against Pat's Uniform. The Oilers were cruised to the 11-5 win. In co-ed action, the GBPA regulators aimed to keep the Kelly Sliders in check. In the end, the Sliders stood on business and they'd slide into a 14-7 victory. Also in co-ed action, it was a nail-biter between Cooper's Destroyers and Immigration Enforcers. However, the Destroyers would hold on in the end, taking the win 9-6. And there was very little to write home about in men's action. The CLA hitters scored run after run, eventually shutting the door on Taylor City Marlins 39-4. Next in sports, Chavez Young lighting it up in minor league action. He'd lead the Lake Country Doghounds in clinching a playoff berth in the 2024 Miles Wolf Cup playoffs recently. Young finished with 3 RBIs in their most recent outing, knocking off the Chicago Dogs 4-0. And get this, it's their first playoff appearance in franchise history. And lastly in sports, world champion hurdler Devin Charlton's outdoor season coming to an end after it was revealed that she suffered a stress fracture in her foot. The injury came about as she competed in the women's 100-meter hurdle Diamond League final over in Rome. Charlton would set the indoor world record at 7.65 seconds while claiming the world indoor title back in March, and she finished 6th in the 100-meter Olympic final just last month over in Paris. Charlton taking to social media expressing her disappointment while also thanking the medical staff for taking such great care of her. We certainly wish her a speedy recovery.
And that's a wrap for your Northern Edition Sports Update, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Shane Stubbs. As always, be safe and be great.
Thanks, Shane. Now here's a check on your local weather forecast, sponsored by Royal Star Assurance.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Here's a look at your GBPC tip.
What causes the increase in my power bill?
Several factors can lead to an increase in your electricity bill. One common reason is the escalation of energy usage due to a heightened increase in your usage for your electronic or appliances. Additionally, malfunctioning appliances may consume more energy than usual, contributing to a spike in your electricity bill. We want to encourage our customers by utilizing energy-efficient tips, investing in energy-efficient appliances, by adjusting your water heater temperature, adjusting your thermostat, and to make sure all your appliances are unplugged when they are not in use. We encourage you to monitor your electricity usage.
Don't go away, our Facebook friend of the day is up next.
Freeport's Got Talent. Choirs, bands, and soloists. Register by Friday, September 13th. Event hosted in Fort Lakaya Marketplace, September 27th, 28th, and 29th. Freeport's Got Talent. It's a $5,000 grand prize. Brought to you by the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
Hey y'all, what you doing? I'm reading an iVox book from the library. And I'm reading a Vox book. What? An iVox book is a storybook that moves with you. And a Vox book is a book that reads along with you. Ooh, let me see.
The Sir Charles Haywood Library introduces Vox and iVox reading books, a brand new collection of interactive reading technology, the first of their kind in the Bahamas for children. But wait, there's more. We're also introducing Overdrive, our digital library, where you can find books for teens, young adults, and the young at heart, with over 4,000 magazines for people of all ages and interests. Come on, bring your entire family. Swing by and give them a try. They're all available at the Sir Charles Haywood Library.
Here are some tips for having your home ready for a hurricane. Keep all trees and shrubs trimmed. Bring in all outdoor furniture, plants, or any other items that may become airborne due to high winds. Cover windows and doors with hurricane shutters or pre-cut plywood. Clear drains and gutters. And remember to secure important documentation in case you have to evacuate. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Doris Tasha Wright, you are our Facebook friend of the night, one of Grand Bahama's top stylists. We thank you for your support and we hope that you're enjoying your special birthday as we say thanks for being among our top fans. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire ZNS News team in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you for watching. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
What does disability look like? In a busy airport terminal? At the check-in counter? At security checkpoints? Or even in baggage claim? Passengers with hidden disabilities often go unnoticed. Globally, 1 in 7 persons have some form of a disability. 80% of those disabilities are non-visible. In an airport environment, workers are often unaware of hidden physical, mental, or neurological disabilities that some passengers live with. This can lead to frustration and a less than ideal travel experience. So, how do we make the invisible more visible? At LPIA, we've implemented the Sunflower Lanyard program. The lanyards are visual cues for airport workers to immediately identify passengers who might need additional assistance. NAD is teaming up with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities and key stakeholders at LPIA to launch the internationally recognized initiative. We're joining more than 180 airports and 26 countries already in the program. NAD is the first organization in the Bahamas to recognize the Sunflower Initiative. It's a way to show our continued commitment to making LPIA a safe, welcoming, and inclusive airport for all. Passengers needing to secure a free Sunflower lanyard can email sunflower@nas.bs or call 1242-397-8600. For more information, visit www.nassauLPIA.com.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, another development in the Valley Boys fiasco, an eviction notice and seed funding withheld. Find out for how long and the next move in the group's infighting. The homicide count swells following triple shooting that's also left 2 seriously wounded. Grief coping mechanisms, what you need to know to get on the path to healing. And in sports, Government League basketball playoffs underway. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
evening, everyone. I'm Makush Lopinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. What is the way forward for the Valley Boys? Well, while that's being determined, the drama continues for the group now in the throes of being evicted from its Junkanoo shack. For the story, we go now live to our LaDawn Davis. LaDawn?
Makushla, shortly after 6 this evening, the police escorted the Way Forward Valley Boys here at the Claridge Road Valley Boys Shack to serve an eviction notice to the world-famous Valley Boys. Now I'm joined by the committee member of the Way Forward Valley Boys, Mr. Herbert Bain, a noted builder, might I add. Talk to us a little bit about what's happening here at the Claridge Road Shack.
Well, first of all, Dawn, I must correct you on nationwide television. We are the Valley Boys, Junkanoo Group. And the way forward is only a committee that was formulated to steer the process in rebuilding this group. We came in this afternoon really and truly in our preparations for Bay Street. We are in need of ensuring that Valley Boys assets are secured for not only the group members now, but also for future generations to be able to utilize this. This facility was leased to the Valley Boys Junkanoo Group I think, and I stand to be correct, I think in 2007. And the lease was for 10 years. And our previous leadership team, who they did not saw it necessary to renew the lease. We, in our quest to rebuild this group, and to rebuild the Valley Boys, have renewed the lease. So we have secured another 10 years for the Valley Boys. And so today is just an opportunity to advise our fellow Junkanoos, the world famous Valley Boys, that this facility has now been secured for the Valley Boys, and we have a program to begin and to continue. And, I would like to say that the olive branch is still open for all Valley Boys to come and participate, because at the end of the day, this is what we are all about. We are about building this group. So yeah, we came today just to facilitate this process and making sure that Valley Boys assets are secured for Valley Boys.
I know the Valley Boys are ready for Bay come December. Your thoughts on that? Are you guys ready?
Well, we're getting there, and securing these two building facilities is a great step forward in making sure that our team members, our builders, and our Valley Boys have a place to properly prepare so that our fans and we don't disappoint them. We're coming out there with a vengeance, and we've had a long, tumultuous year, but hopefully when we get out there, the Valley Boys will be ready for Bay Street, and we'll put on an excellent performance, as we often do.
Now, because I have a number of Valley Boys here, and I wanted them to say a little something. I know you guys are ready for Bay. Are you ready for Bay?
Yeah, man.
We ready? Yes.
Valley Boys.
Well, because that's any indication, the Valley Boys, whether it's the world-famous Valley Boys or the Way Forward Valley Boys, the Valley Boys are ready for Bay Street. Back to you in studio.
Well, thanks, LaDawn. In related news, as if things couldn't get any worse for the feuding group, a huge monkey wrench thrown in the Valley Boys' plans to get ready, actually, for the big Christmas and New Year's showdown on Bay. Diane Dorset fills us in with this angle.
A decision has to be made. A decision will be made, and whatever decision made, it might not be favorable to some people, and you can't spend life trying to please everybody.
Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Honorable Mario Boleg there, who, in an unexpected twist Tuesday, announced that the decision on which faction of the Valley Boys would receive seed funding would not be disclosed just yet. The Junkanoo community then will have to wait until a meeting with subgroups and primary stakeholders on Sunday.
I am requesting a meeting with the JCNP, the NJC, and some few other stakeholders, along with the Way Forward, 2 persons from the Way Forward, and 2 persons from the world famous, the real group, as they call themselves, both for Sunday evening. So I want the media to know we will be withholding the Valley Boys seed funding until that meeting takes place this coming Sunday.
For weeks, the Junkanoo community speculated about which faction would receive the funding, but with that announcement now postponed, both subgroups are left in limbo, unsure of what the future holds. Trevor Davis, the leader of the Valley Boys, the Way Forward, says he has no objections to the upcoming meeting.
We don't have a problem with them holding statement. We understand that it's a process, and we will in the process because it's not the process for the last 2 years. I don't think the question if this side is willing to unify. This side has been willing to unify from day one. And so that question should not be directed at the Way Forward side. Remember now, we the one who've been asking for elections. We the one who've been asking for transparency and accountability. We are the ones who left a proposal on the table for the last 3 months for them to come to terms with it. It's them who've been refusing. So it's not that we out of it. We was always willing. We understand that there's one Valley Boys, and we want to continue to be one Valley Boys.
Exactly when Sunday's meeting will take place has not been disclosed, but it is expected that the decision will be made once it ends. Now, attempts were made to reach a representative from the world-famous Valley Boys, but we were not successful up to news time. Makushla?
Well, thanks, Diane. Now to a story of another kind. Police tonight are investigating a triple shooting that's claimed the life of a man and left 2 others injured. The incident taking place just outside a business in the Soldier Road area last night. And our Corval Pifer has the details.
Police say it was around 9:20 Monday night, just outside the Ain't Long Now Restaurant Bar and Sporting Lounge on Soldier Road in Windsor Place, where the triple shooting happened. 3 men were standing outside when gunmen opened fire on them. One of the victims, a man believed to be in his 50s, pronounced dead there on the scene. Assistant Commissioner of Police Shivago Dames providing an update.
At this time, we are still in the early stages of this investigation, but what I can tell you is that 2 males wearing dark clothing emerged from behind a wall and shot the persons who were standing inside of the yard at Anything Long Now bar.
This entire area is normally a busy zone, a place where there are a number of popular watering holes where patrons gather regularly. The other 2 victims, believed to be in their 30s and 40s, were taken to hospital, one with injuries to the upper arm, the other shot in the leg. It is not believed that their wounds are life-threatening.
The perpetrators here was bold in their actions and going into the yard and shooting the suspects there. And so, again, we want the public to know that while these incidents are concerning, but your Royal Bahamas Police Force is up to the task, and we are out here every night, every day, doing our very best to ensure that you remain safe. And where incidents like this take place, we could assure the criminals and the perpetrators that we will be coming after you. And based on the technologies that we have to our disposal, our investigators and the officers, the boots on the ground, we will find you and we will put you before the courts for these incidents that you are doing.
Very near to where this incident unfolded, there are closed-circuit cameras, and police are hoping that this will be an effective tool in capturing the perpetrators involved in this incident. But most importantly, Assistant Commissioner of Police Dames is appealing to members of the public who may have information that can assist their investigation to come forward. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pifer.
Well, thanks, Corval. Deep in the throes of grief, meantime, the mother of the 3 young men killed in Monday's early morning traffic accident has chosen not to speak publicly. The story, though, continues to pull at the heartstrings of many, prompting condolences from all across the country. Our Devontae Hanna spoke briefly today with family members. Devontae, what was that conversation like?
Makushla, 24-plus hours later, and it's a gut-wrenching story that's still very much gripping the nation as LaVon Miller Christie mourns the loss of not 1, not 2, but 3 sons. 24-year-old Philip McCarron Christie, 23-year-old Philip DiCaprio Christie, and 20-year-old D'Angelo Christie, who all died in a traffic mishap early Monday. A mother's worst nightmare, that's how it's being described, as family members have opted not to speak publicly and have instead decided to release a statement in the coming days. The accident, which sent shockwaves throughout the entire nation, occurred around 2 a.m. on September 2nd, 2024, claimed the lives of the young men when their gray Honda SUV collided with a tree, instantly killing 2 of the victims on the scene, a 3rd dying in hospital. It left Ms. Miller devastated. Condolences pouring in from every corner as this loss resonates with people everywhere. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis in a tweet revealed he was deeply heartbroken by the tragic loss, adding that his heart goes out to the entire Christie family as they navigate the unimaginable pain. The three young men were raised in North Andros. They later relocated to the capital for work. In fact, in a joint statement released yesterday afternoon, BPL and BTC revealed both the older brothers were their employees as a member of the Special Service Delivery Team for BTC and a craftsman apprentice at BPL. Both described as valuable assets. The head of both organizations commending the young men for their contribution to the companies. Social media also has been lit ablaze with condolences, comments pouring in wishing the young men to rest in peace and calling them a joy to be around. As the investigation into the accident continues, authorities are urging anyone with information to come forward. We will continue to follow this story and provide updates as they emerge. Makushla.
Well, thanks, Devontae. Grief, certainly not an easy pill to swallow. Our Danielle Dean shares what one of the country's leading voices and experts suggest as coping mechanisms as the bereaved work through the pain.
They say it comes in 5 stages. They say it's the price we pay for love. It's the emotion parents of the 3 young men killed in Monday's early morning traffic mishap are now grappling with. Offering up what she hopes are words of comfort to the bereaved was the wife of the Prime Minister, Anne-Marie Davis.
Oh my goodness, for the whole day yesterday, I thought about that mother and what she must have been feeling, because I too have a son, and just thinking about what it feels like to lose one son, it was unbearable. I hope that she gets visited by not only friends and relatives, but physicians and even a psychologist as well, to make sure she's okay. My heart goes out to her, and my deepest condolences and sympathies to her.
Principal Nursing Officer at Sandilands Rehabilitation Centre, Thelma McKenzie, echoed the importance of emotional support during such difficult circumstances.
Please don't feel alone. There's always somebody out there who can provide a word of comfort, or whatever you need, just let us know and we will be here to be with you and stand by you. There are times when patients who are with us and they experience grief because they would have lost a loved one while in hospital, and we provide the support, whatever they need, and assist them through going through the various stages of grief so that they can, of course, come to some resolve and be comfortable with themselves.
As for coping mechanisms, here's what Sandilands Medical Chief of Staff, Eugenia Comey, shared.
When somebody goes through grief like that, I would say let them be who they are. If they feel like crying, if they need to talk about it, because usually after something like that happens, you have a lot of family members around you, okay? And it depends on if the family is equipped. They might need to seek help. So as I said, if you have a physician you can go to, or a private doctor, that's fine. If not, the public services are there.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Still to come, a look at CC Sweeting students' first day back. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
In the chaos of our daily lives, it's easy to be caught up in the rush. But when you're behind the wheel, remember, rushing can lead to disaster. Don't rush. Take your time. Remember, your life and others depends on it. Slow down. Stay alert and arrive alive. Because in the race of life, it's not about how fast you get there, but how safely.
This message is brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Whether you're crossing borders or navigating busy airports, with BTC's reliable data roaming, you're always in touch. In a fast-paced world, staying connected is key. Don't miss important moments. Stay connected effortlessly with BTC, wherever your journey takes you.
Hey, stop whatever you're doing
and head to your favorite KFC. KFC is taking value to a newer, crunchier level with our new snack box, packed with one piece of juicy fried chicken, crispy fries, and a buttery biscuit, all for just $5.35. When you snack, you deserve to snack responsibly with the new delicious KFC snack box. Order your new favorite deal online with Messenger or WhatsApp Hi to 557-3663 to start your KFC order today. KFC knows value and is finger-licking good.
We need people who are willing to step up and take action, need people willing to fight for what is good and what is right.
We are on the verge of the most profound industrial revolution in human history. I've had the privilege of seeing the future, and I'm here to tell you that it's not just going to be okay, it's going to be amazing.
I've made a decision to remain committed to doing all I can to help elevate you.
Get ready for Own Talks 2024. All new speakers, all new insight, and an all new chance to submit an application and win one of the grants given away by Own Bahamas to jumpstart your business endeavors.
Your professional success is going to become about how well we can imagine a future that we want to live in and the courage to build for it.
Mediocre minds are the greatest enemies to innovation and change.
There's nothing we can't do.
Make this year your best year yet. Education is the key to success, and the University of the West Indies Global Campus Bahamas is your partner in success. Take a course that increases your value in a matter of weeks, or get that degree you've been dreaming of with convenient online learning. Visit us at global.uwi.edu/Bahamas, call 323-6593, or WhatsApp 456-6687 today. Blessings gonna find me here.
People are going crazy for Popeyes around the world. Some have camped out for hours just to try our delicious chicken. This guy stocked up on 300 crunchy, juicy chicken sandwiches, just in case. And these lovebirds celebrated their wedding with the Popeyes cake. For real. We get it, y'all chicken lovers. Because we're just as crazy to marinate our chicken for 12 hours and make every piece by hand. That crazy love, we love.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
What are we gonna do? We forgot your daddy's birthday. He's in Eleuthera and we're all the way in Nassau. You got it? Okay. Yes, you're right.
Eleuthera for tomorrow? No problem.
One of the biggest decisions you will make when remodeling a kitchen is the design choice for your kitchen cabinets. Whether you want your kitchen to look modern or traditional, the Casablanca White Shaker cabinets will make a sound choice. Stop into Conard Bahamas today and let them enhance your kitchen with the Casablanca White Shaker cabinets. At Conard Bahamas, they also carry an array of Calacatta quartz countertops. Conard Bahamas, Sandyport, Nassau, Freeport, Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Eleuthera.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
The government's given the nod for the National School Breakfast Program to be expanded. Education Minister, the Honourable Glenys Hannah Martin, shares what this means for overall well-being of students.
12,000 students in Family Island primary and comprehensive schools. And so we've already seen in its pilot rollout its impact on attendance. In the islands now, it's filling a different type of model now. It's providing breakfast, because you also see a correlation between a breakfast in the morning and performance. And so ultimately we'd like to see it rolled out nationwide and in New Providence fully. But this is a good second phase.
Officials are crediting school resource officers for an improved school environment. There are now 60 SROs on campuses across the country. Here's Assistant Commissioner of Police Chaswell Hanna with the data to support that assertion.
Our figures indicate that there has been a 17% reduction in school incidents since the introduction of the School Resource Officer Program. You would have noticed a few years ago, we used to see those videos with all those fights, and we had incidents of students being stabbed. But thank God we didn't have any incidents over the past academic year of any stabbings, and our incidents are decreasing, having fewer and fewer fights because of these SROs really acting as a facilitator to create the space for improved safety with the school administrators, security officers, teachers, parents, and students.
ACP Hannah says such training allows the school resource officers to see the world beyond the Bahamas.
The National Association of School Resource Officers are the global trainers for SROs. We had our officers complete a 40-hour course covering everything dealing with school safety, how to be sensitive to kids, how to respond in certain critical situations. And we even had some advanced training this past summer. We had some of our leaders in school policing complete leadership and management courses in school policing. So these SROs are not only certified to perform SRO duties in the Bahamas, but they can perform them anywhere in the world.
All over at C.C. Sweeting Senior High, 600 students returned to the classrooms, 200 of them 10th graders who went through orientation at the Oaksville campus. Principal Ricardo Patterson could be more proud of last term achievements.
Overall, our examination results have improved exceptionally. We had a graduation rate improvement of 15% graduation rate, and we had a number of certifications, so we're doing well overall.
And as for this year's objectives?
We're trying to increase our certification in programs. We're trying to increase our GPA. Overall, we're trying to encourage all of our students to have at least a minimum of a 2.0 GPA, and also our extra classes and all of those things that we intend to do to make sure that we just continue to build the momentum and what we are doing now.
We still have more news to come, but Marcellus Hall has a look at what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
Coming up in sports for tonight, we'll take a look at what's going on with the basketball playoffs in the Government League. Details ahead in sports.
The news in the making, call ZNS News at 502-3800 or email us at znsnews@gmail.com.
decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with the Live Business Bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from Alive Business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, that's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources is shining a spotlight on the nation's fishing community with the launch of the first ever Anchor Awards ceremony. During a press conference on Monday, Minister Jomo Campbell delivered an inspiring keynote address applauding the dedication and bravery of these exceptional men and women.
Our fishermen are the unsung heroes of our communities, navigating the blue waters each day, demonstrating resilience and unwavering commitment to their craft. With the Anchor Awards, we aim to shine a spotlight on these remarkable individuals. We honor not only their skills and accomplishments, but also their capacity to inspire future generations.
Under the theme Honoring Legends of the Sea, fishers from across the nation are eligible for nominations in categories such as the Lifetime Achievement Award, Minister's Choice Award, Flag Fisher of the Year, Commercial Fisher of the Year, Sports Fisher of the Year, and the People's Choice Award. Nominations end on September 30th. Adding to the excitement, Philip Simon, General Manager of Royal Caribbean International Bahamas, also shared his enthusiasm for the occasion.
As a Lifetime Achievement Award sponsor, we are incredibly proud to support the Bahamas Fishers Alliance and the Ministry of Agriculture, two organizations who have committed themselves to celebrate the outstanding achievements of those who have made significant contributions in the maritime industry in the Bahamas. We are excited for what promises to be another memorable evening with you and to celebrate the inspiring achievements of those shaping our industry everywhere.
And the Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute President, Dr. Ravinia Hanna, echoes that same excitement.
We are very proud to sponsor two distinguished awards that celebrate excellence in both traditional skills and the promise of our youth in the flats fishing industry. The Flats Fisher of the Year Award and the Prime Minister's Youth Fisher Award, respectively.
The ceremony will be held at the Bahama Resort on Saturday, November 16th at 7 p.m. Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
Bishop Dr. Woodley Thompson, recently installed National Bishop of the Church of God of Prophecy. Dr. Thompson, now the sixth Bahamian to hold the role, succeeds Bishop Franklin Ferguson, who headed the church for 11 years. Dr. Thompson, a doctor by profession and a father of three. He thanked his wife for her support, adding that the position of National Bishop has a special place in his family.
Surely God has been writing each chapter of my life's story. It was in 1974 that my father, Bishop Bryce H. Thompson, ascended to the helm of leadership of the Church of God of Prophecy in the Bahamas, 1 year after our nation's independence. And today, history records that 50 years later, 1 year after our nation's 50th anniversary of independence, I stand in the same historic E Street Tabernacle, at the same pulpit, and assume the same role as my father, as National Bishop of the Church of God of Prophecy in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Now, among those in attendance, Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis, who thanked Dr. Thompson for his willingness to usher in a shift in policy focus.
So I was happy to hear that Bishop Thompson has committed this institution of faith to restoring relationships on several fronts. Upon accepting your current post as National Bishop, you publicly committed, as part of your leadership mandate, to our various ministries of the Church, geared towards helping those in the community that may find themselves in difficult times. I applaud this vision and mandate, as it is consistent with the Great Commission and has its foundation, passion for service to others and compassion for your fellow men, with particular attention being paid to the less fortunate amongst us.
Meantime, in an inspiring story from the volleyball court to the pulpit, Bishop Joseph Jomo Smith was installed as National Overseer for the Church of God, Bahamas. In a service held at the Church of God Auditorium on Joe Farrington Road, the Long Islander was congratulated for his commitment to service.
I implore you to stand up for all forms of justice and fairness. Plead the cause of the weak, the voiceless, the poor, and comfort the brokenhearted, even as you assist the widow, the sick, and the shut-in. Use your ability and your bully pulpit to always speak truth to power on any number of important national issues affecting the lives of ordinary Bahamians. So be a bully in your pulpit on these matters.
In other news this evening, Island Luck Care is announcing an initiative aimed at improving men's health in the community by offering prostate cancer screenings all this month. Here's Wes Calix Forbes.
Let's take it out of the minds of men in this society. You don't need to have the dreaded embarrassing digital rectal exam, which some men will foolhardily say they'd rather die of prostate cancer than go through that.
The proactive approach of offering prostate cancer screening in September is expected to make a significant impact in the community by increasing awareness and reducing the stigma associated with prostate cancer screening. Dr. Gregory Pinto addressing common concerns about the procedure while highlighting risk factors such as age, family history, and ethnicity. He encouraged men over 40 and those with the family history of the disease to get screened regularly.
For first-line screening, that's exactly what we're doing. The digital rectal has little to no role. So a lot of men are saying, I'll never get that prostate cancer screening because no one's going to put that digital rectal exam upon me, and even if they get it once, they're not going to go back for 10, 15 years or ever again. Unfortunately, prostate cancer has little to no symptoms when it's early disease. That's why it's imperative that every year from the age of 40 all the way to the age of 75, you don't want to miss any intervening years in between, because those are the years where you can develop prostate cancer and it can advance, and by the time we pick it up, you're not at a curative stage.
The screenings are available on New Providence, Eleuthera, and Grand Bahama. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Wes Calix Forbes.
Two young Bahamians recently recognized among dozens of regional content creators in a competition over in the Far East. The contest highlights content creators identifying China's partnership in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, requiring a single submission, with winners receiving an all-expense-paid trip to China, among other benefits. Bahamian Guyanese journalist Shaquan Gill shares his experience.
But I had the opportunity to visit China and really get an experience for myself that I think is unmatched. I felt as though it was an obligation on my part to share that experience that I had with other people, and I hope that the impact that it has is one that is long-lasting. I've seen China play a significant role in the Caribbean development as a whole, not just in Guyana, but also its support for the Bahamas and support for other countries. And so I really enjoyed that, and I saw that kind of camaraderie. And so I put it together in a video, and I'm here today.
Freeport native Ashad Bain says his love of the Bahamas and his hope for regional development spurred him to participate.
Being a content creator within the Caribbean, that my work, the time that I put in, it got me here in Beijing, China right now. It means a lot to me, and the message is, even hearing from the people today, that the friendship between China and the NAC countries, that they want to help each other. Each one teach one and help each other grow and develop. Being a content creator as well, not just winning an award, but just to know that my talent and what I do for a living can take me places.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Hi, I'm Brent Burrows, Vice President of Retail and Sales at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store. Not only do we guarantee the best prices on all your favorite building materials, but we're proud to offer the best delivery program in all of Nassau. Whether you buy one box of screws or a truckload of plywood, island-wide delivery is just $5. And for our Family Island customers, we're proud to offer complimentary drop-off to the mailboat of your choice. Visit us today at the CBS Pro Store on Robinson Road and check out our website to set up your next delivery.
The most important thing in life is family, and whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind. What's the difference? Ruby's Ultra Tech in your car. Fill up with Ruby's Ultra Tech. Spend less and go far. Fuel up with Ruby's Ultra Tech. Get the most out every ride. Just watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel up with confidence in every mile. Get Ruby's Ultra Tech in your tank and drive with a smile. Watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel the difference with Ruby's Ultra Tech.
Hardware is the helpful place. Everything you need under one roof. From electrical, paint, plumbing, outdoor, barbecue, automotive, lawn and garden, pet supply, houseware, and seasons. Hurricane season is now here. So for all your hurricane needs, we have a 25% off bargain zone.
Hey, thanks. I would have given more stuff, but I didn't bring my money. I thought this was a glove, and I thought everything was free. Finally know what it is now. Thanks.
We're located on St. Albans Drive, West Bay Street. Open Monday to Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and closed for lunch 2 p.m. to 3 p.m.
The Prime Minister making a pitch for young people to consider careers in the local healthcare sector. His comments coming during a recent town hall meeting on Cat Island, where plans for the new Stevenson Clinic were unveiled. The environmentally friendly project is being funded by the Inter-American Development Bank. The floor plans for the state-of-the-art public health clinic, funded again by the IDB, reveals an environmentally compliant facility that's weather and disaster resilient, operating at the urgent care level, boasting lab diagnostics and telemedicine. Prime Minister Davis touts that numerous job opportunities, adding that the clinic will help boost Cat Island's attractiveness for foreign direct investment as well.
Encourage our young people, encourage our children to look at a career in healthcare services. There's not to be a nurse, not to be a doctor, there's all other jobs in healthcare services, and we need them. And right now, worldwide, there's a shortage in healthcare service providers. And so you see the necessity to ensure health infrastructure, to be able to provide tertiary healthcare, and you also need to ensure that the health infrastructure is properly resourced. So again, I take my hat off to my minister, was already started ensuring that once we build these infrastructure, we will have the staff to resource them.
3 weeks after Hurricane Dorian bruised and battered the island of Abaco, one resilient Bahamian made the difficult decision to return and not to rebuild her own life, but to restore order amidst the chaos. Assistant Chief Magistrate Ansela Evans shares her experience with Romiko Knowles of our Northern Service.
My court-martial at the time, Mr. Ernest Ramming, had been found unresponsive.
For Assistant Chief Magistrate Ansela Evans, Hurricane Dorian was a tragic chapter that began with the devastating news of her court-martial's sudden death. Evans was staying at the Abaco Beach Hotel when the storm's wrath became all too real. Rain began pouring into her room, forcing her and other guests to seek refuge in another room.
I did not know at the time when all of this water started coming in that the roof had come off the hotel. Eventually, there was a knock on the door, things got quieter, and I was escorted downstairs along with all of the other guests. I understood then that that must have been when the eye was passing.
As the storm's fury intensified, the number of people taking shelter alongside Magistrate Evans grew.
And to add to all of that, there were persons who had been charged with very serious offenses who were also there coming up to me. Hi, Magistrate.
Eventually, Magistrate Evans was escorted out of the hotel by the chief of police, who warned her to brace herself for the destruction she was about to witness.
I could not recognize anything. It looked as if a bomb had gone off in Marsh Harbor.
She was taken to the government complex, where she spent the next 4 days. Like many on the island, she lost everything.
And I learned from Dorian that material things are just that, material things. But once you have your life, you have everything. Nothing else really matters.
And although Magistrate Evans managed to catch a flight out of Abaco, her dedication to justice and deep love for her country compelled her to return just 3 weeks later, determined to help restore law and order on the storm-ravaged island.
And the reason I came back, and people said, why did you come back in the midst of everything? You had nowhere to live, you had no car, you had nothing. Why did you come back? And I came back because I'm a Bahamian and I enjoy what I do. And I realized that there was a responsibility on me to reopen the courts. We were hearing all sorts of stories, and I felt that people needed to know that if you committed an offense in Abaco, you would be punished in Abaco.
Inspiring story there, Romiko. It's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Patricia, and welcome back. And the weekend was pretty wet, but things have been improving over the past couple of days. 3 systems we are watching out there in the Atlantic Ocean, but none of them seems as though they're going to impact the Bahamas. But right now, we are under partly cloudy skies, temperature at 86 degrees, relative humidity 78%. We have east-southeast winds at 11 miles per hour, the barometric pressure at 1,014.6 millibars. That is 29.96 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this evening: 86 degrees in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, Green Key at 85, Freeport, Grand Bahama 85 degrees, 85 again in the Berry Islands and Alice Sound, Bimini, Harbour Island 86 degrees, Rock Sound, Eleuthera 86, 85 in Fresh Creek, Central Andros, picking up some 85s also in Georgetown, Exuma, Otter Sound, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey at 86 degrees, 85s in Ragged Island, Clarence Sound, Long Island, Crooked Island, and Betsy Bay, Megwana, Acklands 88, Magic Town, Inagua 85, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 86 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Alive Business, where you're always protected during the worst storms. In the northwestern islands tonight through Thursday, winds are going to be out of the east at 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet. High tide will occur at 9:02 tonight, with a second high tide at 9:22 tomorrow morning for the central and southeastern islands through Thursday. Easterly winds as well, but they're going to be a lot stronger, 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 6 feet over the ocean. So we're asking small craft to exercise caution in the central and southeastern islands through Thursday. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
They call me hot cake. I'm in a poor state, yet I stay on guard. I protect their yard. They hardly feed me. Sometimes I'm so thirsty. They say I ain't got no pedigree. They don't love me. They only know me when they need me. They don't love me. They only know me when they need me. They tie me out in the burning sun. If I'm lucky, I break away and run. You should see them. Oh, how they grin as I look for food, tipping over garbage bins.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. Your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
They don't love me.
In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, follow us at ZNS Digital on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or X. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit us on our website at znsbahamas.com.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Well, welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Government League basketball playoffs getting started last night over at the D.W. Davis Gym. Game one's in the best-of-3 series, so a win very important to set the tone. Amajal Knowles tells the story.
Fans packing the Donald Davis Gymnasium Monday night for a pair of game ones in the Bahamas Government Departmental Basketball Playoffs opening round. In the first game will be the top seed and pennant winners, the relative surprising newcomers, the Nassau Flight Services Ballers, taking on the red-hot Real Deal Rangers. For the Ballers, they would look to continue that momentum of their big pennant-sealing win. But for the Rangers, they had other plans. This one was over before it even started. Real Deal will jump out to an early double-digit lead and never look back. Craig Smith Jr. would lead the way for the Rangers with a game-high 28 points, pulling down 12 boards in the process. Roscoe Dean would chip in with 17, and Michael Turnquest would add 15 points and 13 rebounds. The Ballers getting 17 from Lamont McPhee and 14 from Deontay Tinker.
Came out pretty focused. I mean, we had one or two defensive lapses in the beginning. And then as the game progressed, we started to pick up the intensity, started to make our shots. Well, they was just basically allowing me to walk into my shot, let me get a rhythm. And once I started to feel comfortable, then that's when the confidence goes up. And once the confidence goes up, it's a wrap.
Losing coach Ricardo Richardson summed up his team's performance as well as potential adjustments for Game 2.
Tough loss. The team come out flat. This isn't the ball as I know all season. You know, we lost one game during the regular season to the same team. We felt like we threw it away. I guess they was just full of confidence. We came out flat. They jumped on us and never got off. We need to play a lot more defense. We allow our the center of the court to be wide open. Fellas walk right down in, throw up the shot, gets the foul. We weren't doing that. This is a team that take a lot of 3 points. When our 3-pointers when our 3 ball is dropping, we solid. When the ball is not dropping, then we have to penetrate more and try to pick up the fouls and change the game plan.
In the nightcap, this one a bit closer, but it would be 19 points from Lauritius Ambrister and 18 from Kareem Lightbourne Jr. to help lead the Bamboo Shack Patrollers over the Bahamas Department of Corrections Challengers 80-71. Rashad Woodside with 15 points in the loss. The playoffs will resume on Wednesday with the next half of the bracket as the Baines and Grantstown Cybots will take on the Airport Authority Avengers and the Police Crime Stoppers. They will face the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture Panthers. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
Meanwhile, from the track and field beat, B3A's President Jermico Archer commenting on the status of the sport here in the country. This on the heels of the under-20 national track and field team returning home on Sunday from competition in Lima, Peru.
We have to recalibrate. And recalibrating means that we have to really have a clear mandate and program that ensures that our athletes compete at the highest level. But besides that, I mean, we had some, it's summer for us, and so we're accustomed to 90 and 100 degrees weather, when in fact you go to a place like Peru, which is now their winter, where we experienced freezing temperatures by any Bahamian standard. Competing in the 50s is not typically something that we're accustomed to. But be that as it may, I'm pleased with the overall performance. I'm really focused on next year. Next year is a big year. There are lots of activity next year for track and field. And this is yet another opportunity for our young kids to really shine and do well.
University of the Bahamas Mingo's men's cross-country team finishing in 11th at the 10th annual Florida Atlantic Invitational over the weekend. This in South County Regional Park in Boca Raton, Florida. The men's team finished with 325 points in the 5K event. Meanwhile, Levine Joseph was the top competitor for the Mingos, finishing 68th of 94 competitors in 19 minutes, 1.74 seconds. Jackson Ozias was about 20 seconds behind Joseph in 22.81 for the 73rd spot, and second overall for the Mingos, Kenol Jean was right behind Ozias in 19.29.91 for the 74th spot. Dennis Williamson finished 72nd in 20.26.37, and freshman Christopher Miners finished 79th in 25.948. Joseph said he thought the team could have done better.
It was a good race today. The goal was, my goal was to run 17 minutes today. Unfortunately, I ran 19.
I mean, it goes to show that you don't win every day. We also ran a little bit too fast the first mile. I would have wished that we paced it a little better and probably run like an average of 6 minutes. That would have get us like 18 minutes.
I think the boys ran a bit too fast. You know, the pace of the first lap, these guys really took it. This is competitive, more competitive than it was last year. However, we didn't perform as I expected. We performed much better last year, and it's a lot of work we have to do now to get back on track.
Mingo's cross-country ladies team also competing at that very same event. They finished 6th, scoring 185 points. Both teams ran 5 kilometers or just more than 3 miles. Freshman Markel Newbo was the top finisher for the Mingos in 25:22.1 for 65th overall. Michael Bullard was another freshman. She finished 2nd for the team and 68th overall in 25:44.50. And meanwhile, Nancy Joseph took the 3rd spot for the team and 73rd overall in 31:31.35. Kaya Cambridge right behind Joseph in 31:57.55, and Contrell Dean placing 5th for the team and 66 overall. Nubo saying she felt strong considering cross country certainly is not her specialty.
My main goal for today would have been to beat my time at trials, and I basically ran like the same time, but it wasn't bad because this is like the longest I've ever ran in my life as a sprinter. So I feel like I did well.
First one, I think nervousness, you know, new environment for particularly the new persons who are here, the new freshmen. We have a lot of freshmen this year, so you know, just to kind of get the first one out. But we will be stronger at our next competition.
And last but not least, New Providence Softball Association hoping for good weather this evening. They look to continue their playoffs at the Bankers-Field. In the ladies' game at 7, Sunshine Auto Wildcats. They'll try to go up 2-0 in their series with the Johnson Lady Truckers. Cybertech, Blue Marlins, and Titans. They'll play the men's feature at 8:30. Blue Marlins leading that best of 5, 2-0. They can close it out tonight if they can pick up a win there. And that's your check on sports for you this evening. We do have our weather just ahead. Stay with us.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
From June 1st to November 30th, the ZNS Radio and Television Network is the #1 source in the Bahamas for hurricane information before, during, and after a storm. Now is the time to choose your radio and television hurricane season ad packages. Get extra special rates and run the ads only when you want them to run. Call the ZNS sales office today at 502-3800.
It's time to grow your church. Time to extend your message to all the islands in the Bahamas, into the Turks and Caicos Islands, and to the world via the ZNS app and website. It's time to broadcast your church's services on ZNS TV. To help you with that, ZNS has some exciting new packages with very good prices. It's time to call 502-3813 for details.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, the tropics are a bit active. We have 3 areas of concern. The first one is out there in the Far Eastern Atlantic. The Hurricane Center is giving that one a 30%, that's just 1 year, 30% chance of development over the next couple of days. But good news is we anticipate that it will gradually turn towards the northwest and remain over the open waters of the Atlantic. And then we have yet this second system here, which is already in the Caribbean Sea. It's moving towards the west. We expect it to make a turn towards the northwest, moving across the Yucatan Peninsula, and it will eventually find its way into the Gulf of Mexico. And that is where we anticipate some development could happen with this system, and we're giving that also a 30% chance of development. And then up here to the north of us, that one has about a 10% chance of any kind of development over the next couple of days, and that's how things are shaping up in the tropics. And then close to the home, high pressure remains in control of our weather. That upper level low that produced all those rain over the weekend, well, that has backed off towards the north, leaving behind just a little troughing over the northwest Bahamas, which will continue to support 1 or 2 pockets of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Now, our forecast for tonight, we're looking at clouds breaking with a thunderstorm in spots, becoming a little bit breezy, but still very warm conditions anticipated with your low temperature around 79 degrees. And then tomorrow, clouds and mixed bag of clouds and sunshine. The breezy conditions will continue, and isolated thunderstorm. We're keeping that into the forecast, giving you about a 20% chance of that happening. The high temperature, very warm tomorrow, getting up to 92 degrees, and this is how your temperature will be trending. We start off the day with about 83 degrees, and that will climb, peaking at 92 just around about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And your extended weather forecast shaping up like this. Isolated showers and thunderstorms in the forecast on Wednesday. Thursday, it becomes a bit more scattered, and then we go back to the isolated stuff on Friday. But as we head into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, lots of sunshine in the forecast with those warm summer-like temperatures. Makishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. And before we leave, yesterday, ZNS staffers joined hundreds of students taking the traditional first day of school pictures. Here's a look at how it went.
Oh, you know, it's the beginning of the school year. I hope these children are not... They're up to foolishness already. This can't... Jeez. But you can't...
Summer soon over, no more time to chill. Mommy say she tired of y'all in this highlight bill. Don't make sense, you cry, them supplies done by. So go press your shirt and go get your necktie. Since you ain't in the mood, ZNS come through to bust a bar downs, get you ready for school. So when you walk through the gate on your first day, go to the top of the class. Only one first place. You done greet your friends, plenty hugs and smiles. Now it's time to get focused and unpack your bags and pack your...
Back to school again.
This could be long.
Well, we want to say a special thank you to Janae's Uniform Center for sponsoring our first day of school uniforms. And that does it for the Bahamas Tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better. Thank you for watching, and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
We're back with another exciting episode of The Legal Brief with me as your host, Krista Mason-Smith, managing partner of Muriel DeSeal & Co. In studio, I have the honor and privilege of having two amazing people. The first being Keith Vare Mason, who is Deputy Commissioner of Police, retired, and the illustrious Roberta Reckley, who is our Chief Magistrate of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Welcome, welcome to you both. Thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Welcome. And so we're going to dive right into our topic, which is legal transitions. Let's talk law and policing. So for my first segment, I'm going to pass the mic to Keith Mason. First question. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you have been doing since retiring from the force, not only as a Bahamian top cop, but also as one of the most highly decorated West Indians in the Caribbean. Tell us about yourself.
Well,
you've given them my name. I'm Keith Veer Mason. I was born 90 years ago in Barbados. I was recruited for the Bahamas Police Force in 1955. And after training at police headquarters under the tutelage of an inspector who was also a Barbadian living in Guyana, Inspector Aline, we came to the public to do our work. I spent 39 years and several months in the force, having risen through the ranks from a recruit to deputy commissioner and acting commissioner on several times of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. I have seen tremendous changes in the force. Much of these changes came about as a result of a man an Englishman actually, who was a superintendent in the Barbados Police Force and was sent to the Bahamas as commissioner, a man called Colchester Reams. And when he arrived in the Bahamas in late 1955, he thought that conditions in the force were terrible. And